Something borrowed, something blue. Give us all your juicy news, sensational, irrational. It's Wedding Confessionals.
Welcome to another episode of Wedding Confessionals. I'm Brooke.
And I'm Pam.
And the only thing we love more than weddings
is talking shit about weddings.
Oh, we went with a little songy there.
I did.
I like it.
I felt it.
So I know by the time this comes out, we can't dive into it, but I need listeners to know that we did really talk about the Met Gala and all of the fashion with our guest. Our guest today is my buddy Angie Martin. Say hi, Angie.
Hi.
Hi.
By the time this comes out, that event's going to be so in the past, but I just want to say that Cardi B looked amazing.
Absolutely.
Full stop.
Yeah.
So I don't really have anything to talk about that's dumb, but Angie has so many fun things to talk about that I kind of want to dive in early. Are you prepared for that, Pam?
Let's do it.
I know we usually
Sounds
giggle
great.
and stuff like that, but now we're just going to giggle at Angie's specific events.
I love it.
Okay, so Angie, the way the show works, welcome to anyone who's never listened before. This is kind of a very formal entrance. This is good. This is good for us. So the way Wedding Confessionals works is that listeners will send in their anonymous confessionals that are all, you know, advice or rants about something going on with a wedding that they're either a part of or at one point were a part of. And we read them aloud with a guest, but we like to talk to the guests first to find out sort of their history with weddings. So understand your perspective.
Okay.
See if you're qualified.
Okay.
I think she is.
I think after you hear this, you'll understand.
All right.
So Angie, the first question we always ask everyone is, how old were you when you went to your first wedding?
Wow. Probably 5 or 6.
Oh, so
Maybe.
you went as a child.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I might have been in a wedding when I was like around that age.
Were you like a little
Flower
flower
girl?
girl?
Yeah, I was a flower girl, I think, to my aunt's wedding.
Shout out to her.
I don't really remember much about it.
Because you were a small
Yeah,
child.
I was pretty little.
I'm sorry. Pam is grabbing a blanket because she's cold. Meanwhile, I'm like starting to sweat.
I
We have
knew
such
you were going to
different
say
body
something.
temperatures. I do. I run hot. I can't help it.
I am always freezing.
And I'm always like on the cusp of like, if it were socially acceptable to be like, this shirt's coming off. So, did you go to a lot of weddings as a kid? Were you from a big family? You said you went to your aunt's wedding.
I guess like I'm from a medium-sized family. On my mom's side, it's kind of small, but my dad's side, there was like definitely more brothers and sisters, for both grandparents, and then my dad is one of 4. So there was like quite a few weddings on that end, but I think they were all kind of smaller. Like I don't remember any of them being like huge, like crazy celebrations, except for one of them, which is the one that I was in. But again, I don't really remember that, and I wasn't at age of drinking booze or really taking in the hors d'oeuvres, so you know, I didn't make the most of it.
Where are you from originally?
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Like small town Pennsylvania by Hershey, actually, where the chocolate's made.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Can
Yeah.
I tell you my story of going to Hershey, Pennsylvania?
Did you go to Hershey Park?
Okay, here's what fucking happened.
Oh,
I used to have season passes.
Oh, I'm jealous. So,
it's a park? Hold on.
Yeah, it's like a theme park.
kind of like a
What?
Six Flags.
With
It's-
roller coasters and
Yeah,
stuff?
there's like a ton of them. It's actually really big.
Oh my
It's like Six Flags, like
I want to
huge.
go with chocolate.
Well, they don't actually make it there anymore. But when I was younger, they did. It would actually, the air would smell like chocolate. It was
Oh my
bizarre.
gosh.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have that quality anymore because they shipped it off. It's all being made in Mexico or somewhere now. But yeah, it used to smell like chocolate, and you can do this ride where they teach you how to make chocolate, and it's kind of aged now, but I still love it. It's like very nostalgic for me.
Aww.
I took my fiance actually when we were just there.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's engaged. So I went on my first road trip with Tristan, now my husband, at the time, very early on boyfriend. We were like, let's go on our first vacation together. This will be
Ooh.
romantic. 2 things you need to know about this vacation. One, we decided early. It's like even like GPS or TomTom or anything. It was just a paper map and
You in a Thomas guide?
yeah, I think it was like one of those like, what's the Atlas company? Starts with an M. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm like Merriam-Webster.
They're not in
That's a
business
fucking
anymore.
I know, right? It's a dictionary. But anyway, so we were driving down, and on a whim, we just saw on the map, and Tristan was like, "We should go to Hershey, Pennsylvania. let's go at least to like the factory and do the tour.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. It is not on the way to where we were going. We were on our way to Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Right. So it was like we were in New York City driving down, but we did have to get off and drive for a while on tiny little roads. Took a long time. We got there. There was one picture from that event, which is me standing in front of the sign that says that it's closed for just that day.
No way.
I was so sad. It was just me sad.
I wonder if somebody rented it for the day.
I think it was a school trip thing. There was like a bunch of
They closed down the whole park?
Well, no, not the park, but the factory thing.
Oh,
because it was winter, so the park wasn't open.
Oh, okay.
But like the big tour thing that's supposed to be open all the time.
Wow.
And it was like such a bummer.
That's a huge bummer.
And the other thing that happened on this trip that has nothing to do with Hershey, Pennsylvania was because I lived in New York City at the time. I think I'd been there like at that point 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
I never drove because it's New York City, just
of course.
subway or cabs.
Sure.
And Tristan had brought a car down from his family, like his car from like high school, whatever. And he brought it down just for this road trip. And he drove most of the way because it's his car. But we got to a part where it was like, he's kind of tired. I'll take over. Well, it's kind of raining and it's a highway and it's dark. And this is my first time hopping into his vehicle that's very new to me. And I get on the highway and it's then that I learn, I need glasses.
Oh, no.
I can't see any of the signs
Oh,
ahead.
wow.
Oh, dear.
So now we're driving again. It's like wet roads in the dark on a
No
highway.
glasses.
And I'm like, bink, bink, like trying to, like figuring out for some reason. I was like, oh man, like maybe it's like the windshield wipers aren't working. It's like, no, it's my fucking eyeballs that aren't working. So now I'm like trying to politely and with like as much calm as possible explain to my passenger / boyfriend that I am not equipped to be driving this car.
And that he's going to be
gotta
driving
wake back
the
up.
entire
But also
Yes.
like we were in a dangerous situation. So I was like, so I can't see. And he's like, what do you mean you can't see? And then I start getting nervous about like, I'm going to get us in an accident. So then I'm like, now I'm crying while driving in the dark, in the rain.
Then you really can't see.
I really can't fucking see.
Oh my God.
So then I'm like trying to find the off ramp and now I'm like shaking. And then I didn't see the like obvious spot where I could have immediately pulled over so we could switch out. So now I'm turning down this really random dark road. Just like, I don't even know where we're going at this point. And I end up pointing to this like dark alley. Just like, I don't know. It really was. This is where you get murdered. This is where murderers live, to murder innocent city kids who can't see correctly. But the rest of the trip, Tristan politely drove. And then I got back.
He
and
wanted
I got
to survive.
my first pair of glasses.
Oh, look at that.
Congratulations.
Motherfucker. Scary. I get sweaty thinking about it. So Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
So you went to what? Did you go to a lot of weddings where you were like in your 20s and stuff? Like once you hit college age, does it start getting ragey?
No, not really. Again, most of my best friends they're still not getting married. It's really bizarre, actually. Like most people I know have gone through that like post college like ramp up of like weddings everywhere, and then even like late 20s. And I've gone to like maybe 2. And one of them I didn't go to because she got married in Sweden and I just couldn't swing it at the time.
Yeah.
So, and
That's
my other
interesting.
friend got eloped. So it's really weird. But they've all been with their significant others for like 10 years. It's just, they're just not pulling the trigger on it, I guess. I don't know.
So it's not for
Interesting.
everybody.
Yeah.
I know.
Interesting.
It's really funny.
But you went to an art school, right?
I did. Maybe it's those artsy fartsy kids.
Artsy fartsy kids.
Yeah.
I
think that's what it is.
Because I wonder if
Little
are you
bohemian.
friends with anybody from Pennsylvania, like old school friends that got married early?
I don't really talk to a lot of people I went to high school with. But yes, they're all married.
Right.
Yes.
They're all married and have a couple kids.
Yeah. And all your art friends
I'm friends
are,
with them
like,
on
above it.
Facebook. Yeah, but the art friends are, I don't know. They're on another level, I guess.
No, I get it. It's a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I want to get into so you've been a bridesmaid or anything or no?
I was a bridesmaid in a wedding when I was around 21 or 22 because my one friend from back home that I grew up with, we were best friends since we were like age of 2, she got married and I was her bridesmaid, but I wasn't the only one. There was there was 2 maid of honors, and which is just a not excellent idea if anybody wants to go there.
Pam and I immediately were like, "Burr?"
Yeah. I mean, long story short, it's like we're all also like 21 or 22. There's a lot, drama going on.
Sure.
The funny thing with that, though, is that she ended up cheating on her husband about 2 years later, and then found out that he was also cheating on her. So it all ended up for the best, and she's still married to the one that she cheated on him with, and they have like 3 kids, and they're very happy. Yeah.
Huh.
So more drama actually happened after the wedding, I guess.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad
It's
it
like a
worked
soap
out.
opera.
Did he? So she ended up marrying him.
Yeah.
What about the guy in that original
I have no idea.
You weren't friends with him.
To be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of his anyway. So it was almost I think everybody was almost happy that it happened. To be honest,
Oh man, that's amazing.
no one was 100% on the first husband. So
Did you put that in the card? Was that in like the?
no, my mom might have though. My mom was really weirdly outspoken about how much she really detested him. Yeah, even at the wedding.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I want to sit next to your mom.
I know.
She sounds fun.
So you mentioned you have a fiance.
I do.
Let's hear how you guys met.
So when I first moved to LA about 2 years ago now, my really good friend that I know from art school in Miami was living out here, and it just so happens that I moved on her birthday. So basically took a 6-hour flight to LA from New York and with my cat, which was really fun. And then immediately like hired this guy to come put my furniture together, and then went to her party.
But
So
the guy that built your furniture was not the guy.
was not the guy that I'm about to. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
And that's how I met your father.
I know, exactly. So I went to her party, and it just so happens that her birthday is the day before my fiance's. So it was like a joint party. So I met him literally on the first day, or within the first few hours of living in Los Angeles.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And his name is Jason.
Jason.
Just so because we're going to bring up his name
Yeah.
a couple of times. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. But you didn't date right away,
No,
right?
no.
So
He
what
should have
happened?
just like nailed it down right there. But he just, we became friends, and we did a lot of what we call now platonic dating. And then finally, I think we realized that we were actually going on dates, but as friends, and like not even our friends that were dating were going on as cool dates as we were. And we were becoming almost like an old married couple where we'd like check in with each other. Like, what are you doing today? And I was like, this is not normal for like friends. What's going on here? So one night he took me to a wine and jazz night that was really romantic. And after my like third glass of wine, I like remember like putting it down on the table pretty like hard, like thank God it didn't break, and just saying like, Jason, what's going on here? People are asking me questions. I don't even remember saying that, but he remembers me saying people are asking me questions. So, and then it was like floodgates opening, and then that was it.
Like
And then we made out.
That night you made out?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Or like over the table. So again, like thankfully, like there wasn't wine glasses being spilled everywhere, and I don't
so
know.
hot.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I know.
a rom-com.
And that was it. Like because we had already like gone through the dating
Yeah.
period, and I moved in with him like 4 months later.
So did he have a plan? Like, or was
I
he
don't
just like
know.
cool with this friendship?
He's like. Brooke knows him. He's not shy at all.
I know.
He's the most social person. I just think like he gets, I don't know what it is. I was like, were you afraid of rejection? Like, I don't know. And he's like, no,
I don't want to mess it up.
I just didn't really know like what your thoughts were. I'm like, well, I was trying to hang out with you every day. Come on, dude. Like, I don't know. So,
But I have a question. So all this time that you guys are going on these very romantic platonic dates, did all of your friends just think you were sleeping together and just didn't want to tell you guys?
no,
Like, it's so
that's the
weird.
thing is people were asking me questions.
Were
like,
people assuming that it was your boyfriend at the time?
no, people like because we have all these mutual friends, obviously, because
Yeah.
when I moved here, I was immediately kind of thrown into that group of friends. So they'd be like, hey, so what's going on with you and Jason? Like you guys are hanging out a lot. And I'm like, oh no, we're just friends because he has his best friend's a girl. So he has a lot of girlfriends.
Shout out to Brittany.
Shout out
Brittany
to Brittany.
Wells. She's been on the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Best friends with Jason.
So I just thought that maybe that's how he was. He's a nice guy. But then
But you clearly had chemistry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess so. Obviously.
Making out at the jazz club.
Yeah, we were. We actually went back there on our first anniversary.
Aww.
Last year. And it was really funny because they weren't playing jazz and it was a lot lighter than I remember it being. It's like, when you go back and you have all these expectations. And I was like, also, we had just eaten like the largest meal possible. And I was like, I don't even know if I can drink this wine right now. So we had like one glass of wine and left. It was not as romantic as the first time around. And at that point, we were already living together. So I think we just went home and went to bed.
Well, I wonder too if that's one of the reasons why you guys stumbled into this situation, because you both are huge foodies.
That's true.
So I'm sure you went to like cool restaurants that indirectly are kind of romantic.
Yeah, we went to a lot of restaurants together
sense.
because I had just moved and I wanted to try a bunch of spots, and other people had already tried them and didn't want to go, and he's always down to go eat.
Jason loves eating.
He loves eating. He might love eating more than me. I don't know.
Homeboy likes a snack.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you go from what's going on here to making out to 4 months later moving in.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about getting married, or when did that even come up?
I think maybe coming up on like being together for a year or so, we basically knew we were gonna like be together forever, and like I didn't care about us getting married or like I didn't want to push that at all, and we hadn't really talked about like the actual event of getting married, but like we knew it was going to happen eventually.
So you knew you wanted to get married.
Yeah,
but we were more concerned about like long term, just you're my life partner.
We're fine together, like we're happy. When it only came up like right after our 1 year anniversary, we were planning a trip to Europe. We were going to be there for 3 weeks, and about a week or two beforehand, I took him to one of my clients' parties, and he got kind of drunk and put the cat came out of the bag, and he was like, "I have my grandmother's ring." And I was like, "Oh, what? Okay. I guess that might be happening now, like sooner."
Oh my gosh.
But the kicker is, I don't think he remembers telling me. So it's just like in my head the whole time, like leading up to this trip. And I'm thinking like, so I think I told my good friend, and she's like, well, if he's going to do it, it's probably on your huge trip. It was his first trip to Europe ever. Mm-hmm. And we're going on this like 3-week romantic trip. Like, obviously that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
oh my gosh. Where'd you go?
We started in Lisbon, Portugal. We went to Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
And then we stopped in Naples for about 24 hours to eat as much pizza as we could.
Nice. Very on brand.
Very on brand for us. And then we went to Florence, which is my favorite city. And I used to have to work there a lot. So I've been there like 7 times. So it was like really fun for me to show him around. And then he kept asking me about these like gardens. I'm like, why do you care about these gardens so much? Like, I'm the one who loves plants. And then I realized that's where he was going to do it. Mm-hmm. So the day of, it was our last day in Florence before we left for Rome. And that was our last stop on the trip. Also was like, is he carrying this ring around with him this entire trip? The whole trip.
So you're expecting him to propose.
This is towards the end of the trip.
One.
Like, if it was me, I would have done it in the airport before we left LAX. I wouldn't want it like it would have freaked me out.
Terminal 3 is the most romantic.
It's so romantic. So, long story short, it was our last day in Florence. We got up and went to the market for breakfast, and I was like sweating the whole time because I realized that this was probably going to be it. Within the next hour, I might be engaged. But then it also ended up being the hottest day ever because we were there in it was like late September. Mm-hmm. And the gardens that I wanted to go to are kind of like a hike up. So we're both just like obviously looking super attractive now, sweaty, and like hiking up to these beautiful gardens that overlook Florence. And there's people around, there's like not like a private moment really. Like there's definitely tourists around. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of just like going in circles in a way. And I'm like, I think he's looking for a place where we could like have a moment of privacy. So we sneak into this little, like, under this gate almost.
And are you trespassing?
We were trespassing. In all honesty, it was because I had remembered the last time that I went to this park that there was, like, you could access that area before, and that the view of, like, the city is actually better from that point. And I was like, why is this closed? And then I realized that, like, Italy does have, like, land weirdness, and I thought, you know, maybe this isn't a great idea, because, like, what if it's not sturdy and we're going to, like, fall to our deaths? So when I was about to turn around and tell him that, he was, like, on one knee. So
I'm sorry, we're interrupting your romantic story because of Ruth. Ruth
wants to hear it.
She wants to hear it.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So thankfully we didn't fall to our deaths. It was fine. We stopped trespassing almost immediately to take pictures, of course.
Yeah.
And that's how we got engaged.
Do you remember what he said? Did he say anything?
I don't even remember what he said, because I was, like, worried about us falling to our death / us trespassing. And we were hot, and, like, I was happy.
Yeah.
And, like,
you're like, you didn't
tearing up
ring.
and yeah, exactly.
Right.
And I was excited, and, like, we were both excited. So,
Aww.
you know, it was very cool. And then the kicker is that he's, you know, a huge Kanye West fan. And then I later told him that day that, like, hours later, that Kanye and Kim got married at that same spot. And he was, like, beside himself. I think he told everyone he knew. Like once we actually announced the engagement, he told everyone, like, it's where Kim and Kanye got married.
Oh my God.
So excited.
So the space, so you have the ring on. Do you guys keep it mum for a bit during the rest of the vacation, or do you start calling people immediately?
Well, we kind of had that, like, right away. We took pictures in the park. There's actually these really cool photos because, again, you can see, like, Florence in the background. Mm-hmm. So we were trying to get, like, that shot, and I think we got, like, maybe one after, like, multiple tries. We told our parents, obviously, like, right away, and I told my best friend in New York right away, because she was the one who, like, I'd been talking to, and, like, she kind of, like, she was almost asking me, like, so anything happened, like, the whole trip. So those are the only people, and I think Jason told Brittany, his best friend, and I'm pretty sure that's it.
Wow.
So we got down, and just what happened, there was a champagne bar.
She properly lost her mind, by the way.
She definitely, yeah.
Brittany loves a wedding. Brittany loves a proposal.
Yes.
Yeah. She's
been writing for this for a while too. She's like, lock it down, Jason.
She was sending me examples of wedding bands 2 days later. Of, like, ideas.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It was pretty good.
Amazing.
Yeah. Very helpful.
Yes.
But yeah, so we were drinking champagne, obviously, to celebrate, and we were like, wait, so do we tell people? Because we still had, like, 4 days. We were leaving the next morning for Rome, and we had 4 days there plus, like, a day of travel. So it was like, before we even hit down in LA, it was going to be, like, 5 days. So do we tell people, or do we just, like, kind of enjoy this? And I'm really glad that we didn't tell more people, and we just kind of enjoyed it, because it was really nice.
Yeah.
And we didn't pull the, like, oh, we just got engaged, give us free drinks or anything, like, anywhere. But, like, we just had a really nice, like, time in Rome, just, like, hanging out and being just engaged within, like, ourselves.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
And then even
special.
Yeah. It was kind of nice, because I feel like most people get engaged and then they feel like they have to immediately tell everyone, and they don't get to, like, share that.
Yeah.
So
that moment.
It was really nice. And then even when we got back, I think we waited about a week or so.
Just kind of let it settle in.
Yeah.
Well, it is one of those things where you know immediately it's going to be, like, text.
Oh, of course.
Calls,
well, that's the other thing. I was like,
it's like your birthday.
Guys, I'm on international data. I can't afford all of this. Come on.
That's a good point.
I was like, you know that people are going to try to call us.
True.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a solid point.
Yeah.
That's frugal. That's frugal traveling. I like it.
Yep.
So, at this point, do you know what you're doing for the actual wedding, or do you have any plans? Because when did you get engaged? How long ago?
That was last September.
Okay.
So it's been a little while.
Yeah.
We've gone through a couple ideas. We first really wanted to elope and go back to Italy, probably. But then, like, logistically, it just doesn't make sense, because we started inviting people, like, hey, if somebody wants to come and they're going to fly over there, sure. But then a lot of people started wanting to come. And I was like, this is kind of what I wanted to avoid. And I feel like it would just really stress both of us out having all these people there and just making sure that they have accommodations and they're okay. And we'd actually have to plan something then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So kind of decided against that. And we're going to get married here in LA, either somewhere or at the courthouse, and then have a party.
Okay, cool.
And just like have a fun party where, you know, people can come and drink and we'll have like hors d'oeuvres. And that's
like
it.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
I'm like,
on.
do people really want to sit down and eat like a full on dinner anymore? I don't know. I feel like most of the people that I know have been to like 1,000 weddings.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like my least favorite part about it. The like whole I love when you're at a wedding and then you immediately go to cocktail hour and there's like hors d'oeuvres and cocktails. I'm like, can it just be that? And then we go to dancing.
Yeah.
Like I'm almost like
Sure.
I feel like the whole sit down part of like multiple courses coming out, it almost like breaks that up a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's funny
and
because
you know,
you're
I love
a
food.
foodie.
I know, but I don't know. I just like, I feel like it's like you want to celebrate.
Right. One event is very different from a dinner.
That's true.
And that's the thing is that if you do like a traditional wedding is
Yeah.
sort of like an event followed by a dinner followed by another event.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean,
Also,
and that's
a
just
lot
my
of
opinion.
Speeches happen, so things happen
Yeah.
while you're eating.
That's true. That's true.
So it is a moment of like feeding people while the speeches are happening.
That's true. I guess that is an important
Entertaining
part.
people while people are talking. Let's be real. Well, that's cool. I mean, obviously, do whatever you want. That sounds
Yeah.
like fun. Well, also, I'm sure the apps will be really. And let's be honest, appetizers are the best part of every meal, anyway.
I totally.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
and
You
then
can get
and then
creative.
we're just like I'm more excited about going on the honeymoon, to be honest.
Well, also, it sounds like if you were already trying to do sort of elopement, it sounds like you wanted the actual event of getting married to be a little bit more intimate.
Yeah.
And if you do courthouse, it
Exactly.
automatically becomes pretty
Yeah.
small.
I think it's just going to be our parents
Yeah.
and siblings, and that's
It's
it.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then just do it up whenever you want that
Yeah.
day or
Yeah, I
later.
think we'll probably do it at the courthouse and then immediately have
Well,
a
yeah,
party
because if the
afterwards.
family's in town.
Yeah, if the family's in town, and yeah, we might as well just do it that day.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be great. It'll be like super fun, and I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I kind
do
of
what you want,
like
man.
to. I want to have like a party. I don't want it to be like a reception. I want it to be like a party.
Yeah.
Do
so
it.
at this point, it's still very up in the air. We don't know when. There's no one's
No
pressuring
date.
you
there is a
guys.
date.
What?
Oh.
September 14th, 2019.
Nice.
So we have until next year.
wiggle room.
That's our anniversary.
Oh.
So
Wait, make out anniversary? Or?
make out anniversary.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if you meant like the getting the ring or whatever.
No, yeah.
Because you said September for that,
Yeah,
too.
So that was
could've
right
been.
after our 1 year anniversary was when we went to Italy.
So you'll be getting married at about the 3 year
The 3 year mark. Yeah.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
so September.
Yeah.
September's for
It's a
lovers.
good year.
I
Yeah.
know.
Good year. Good month.
Yeah.
I'm the only one having a drink tonight too.
I
You're
know.
slurring. How dare you?
You have to catch up. You
know, I
haven't
know, I know.
been drinking for a few months.
I know. God, that was awful. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we wanted to talk with you about wedding, your actual like engagement and stuff, because it's really cool. And I definitely want to pick your brain later as you get closer to figuring things out.
Okay.
But the other reason why I wanted to have you on is that I found out that you were an officiant at a wedding recently.
Yes, I was.
What?
And actually, it was the girl that I met Jason through that they share a birthday or their
Oh.
birthday. Yeah.
Wow.
So it actually kind of ties in there.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yes, I officiated her wedding, but I wasn't the only one. There was 2 officiants.
How does that work?
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's almost like having 2 maid of honors, but definitely different in the sense that you don't have to plan as many things. I will say we were both asked to do it. It was like the bride chose somebody and the groom chose somebody, which I think is a noble idea. The only problem is I would say if you're going to do that, kind of make sure they know each other, because if they don't, the chemistry could be weird.
Oh,
You
did
know,
you not know
it's
him
almo-
at all?
No, I'd never met him before.
Where is
Oh.
he not even from the city?
No, he's from LA. He just, I think he works in production or something, and he's like, he's gone a lot, and he works really long hours, and
Yeah.
I don't even think that they see him that much, but definitely not as much as they see me. But anyway, we knew that we were going to officiate the wedding about a year in advance. So they got married this past February, and we knew February of 2017 that was going to happen and that we were going to do it.
Okay.
So we were like, oh, great. We have a year. Or at least that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, I would like to kind of start working on this because I've never done it before and I don't know how that works exactly.
Wait,
And
did you have to get like formally ordained, or what does that do?
I thought I was going to have to, and you would normally would, but it just so happens that they decided to go to the courthouse kind of secretly and do it beforehand. So I didn't have to.
Oh,
but
okay.
I mean, again,
so
like,
they did it legally.
They did it legally, and then their actual wedding in Palm Springs was like their, you know, I guess officially like more like their family
ceremony.
was there. Yeah,
well, sometimes it's hard to kind of coordinate all the legal stuff.
Of course, yeah. So I didn't actually have to get ordained, but I would have. But so we had a year, and when it got up to about 6 months or so, I said, "Hey," to my friend, the bride, I was like, I still haven't met this guy that I'm supposed to officiate the wedding with. I feel like maybe this is time. You know, so we can kind of get to know each other. Because again, like if personalities kind of collide, like that might not be a good idea for your wedding ceremony.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
we have to figure out, you know, how it's going to work with two.
Yeah, it's like almost like if you're comedians even, you know, and you're on stage and you're like kind of like playing off of each other.
Yeah.
You have to figure that out. So 6 months in, tried to meet up with him. He couldn't. So then it goes down to like 3 months.
Eek. Oh.
Yeah, eek is right. So I started almost going into kind of like crazy mode. And I anybody that is asked to officiate a wedding, like honestly, I have to say the best material I got was by watching YouTube videos of other people doing it, because you can immediately see like, oh, I'm not doing that. That's terrible. And you see more of that than like, oh, that's really lovely and nice.
Wait, what did you search on YouTube? Just wedding officiant?
Yes.
Really?
Do it. It's actually very entertaining, to be honest.
It's a good tip.
What went on your no list?
Oh God, there was so many. There was a lot. There was ones, the biggest no I think that I saw over and over again, and there was like multiple levels of like this being really bad and like being semi bad, is where people officiated but like almost made it kind of like the best friend's speech as opposed to the ceremony, where they were like kind of joking but to another level that shouldn't be involved in the ceremony. Mm-hmm. And there was some really bad ones where like I would have murdered that person if they were if they were marrying me. Like, don't bring that up in the ceremony. But again, like it's like a fun thing that you can say like during the toast or something.
Yeah, you
but,
don't
like,
roast somebody.
You don't
during
roast
their
somebody
wedding.
during their ceremony.
Not during the ceremony.
There's a lot of them, but I don't know. And then there was just other ones where I felt like they would say really cheesy things or like read like very well known like marriage love poems. And some of them are really great, but then some of them I'm like, oh, we've heard that about 1,000,000 times. Mm-hmm. And I'm definitely not doing that. I feel like if we're going to read something, it has to be something more personalized for the bride and groom.
Sure.
So
did you have to like come up with everything your own because you haven't talked to this guy?
Yeah. So I basically wrote up everything. I mean, this is like pages and pages. When I printed it out so that I could like show the bride because I was going to see her. And it was like 7 pages. I mean, it was like large print because I wanted to be able to read it, but still. Yeah. So finally, this kind of like, I guess, lit a fire under her ass to like say like, okay, now it's like 2 months out and they haven't met. So again, he kind of did this thing where he like tried to avoid it almost. And I don't think...
Did he not want to do it?
Is he nervous? Or
I don't know. He doesn't seem like a nervous person. I've obviously met him now.
Maybe he's just busy.
I think he was really busy.
Too busy to do it.
I think he was really busy. And then...
well, it sounds like it was around the holidays too.
It was definitely around the holidays. And that's why we were kind of freaking out because like they were leaving. I was leaving. I don't know about him, but he was obviously busy working. Then the other kicker was that right before the wedding, I was going to Paris for work. So we knew that I was going to be gone. Mm-hmm. So we like that was a week less that we had too, like right before the wedding. Like I basically got back jet lagged and had to like do this 2 days later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like, again, like a week less that we didn't have to like practice or figure this out. So leading up, I think it was like, okay, they got married the beginning of February. It was right after New Year's. So it was like January 2nd or 3rd. I finally was like, okay, we have to meet. And she put us on like a group thread text. And this is where it gets kind of juicy because we like, he was like, okay, let's meet at this place. It ends up, funny enough, he lives in the neighborhood next to mine. Like he lives in Echo Park and I live in Silver Lake. I could walk to his apartment realistically. It's like crazy. So I was like, really? Like, I thought he lived in like, I don't know, Calabasas or something, like so far away. So we decide to meet at this bar. But then in the group thread, he keeps going on and asking them about his hotel room. And I said, what's he talking about? Because that was never brought up to me. So it ends up that they offered to pay for his hotel room, but they never offered it to me.
What?
So
awkward.
During this group thread, my friend immediately took him off the group thread and was like, hey, we'll talk about this later. So that's when I kind of knew something was up. So I met up with this guy like 2 days later, and he brought it up to me before I even had to like kind of dig for information. And he was like, oh yeah, I guess we're staying at this hotel together. Like, I wonder if like we should get our rooms like near each other. I'll ask Carolyn. And I was like, oh, well, they're not paying for my room. Like we booked this a while ago. Like I never even knew that was an option. And he's like, oh, you should talk to them about that because they're definitely paying for my room. Yeah.
Oh,
wowzers, right?
Gosh.
I know. And that's like, again, like Brooke and I were talking about this earlier. It's one of those things where when you're mad at them, but they're also getting married in a month and like stressed out. How do you bring that up to them? Like, but also how do you not bring that up to them? Like, that's kind of shitty.
So what happened?
Yeah.
So I like kind of like
we're both like
making these like really strange
that
faces.
emoji where it's like all the teeth are like
I know,
so awkward.
So I got home from meeting with this guy and I see Jason, my fiance, and I was like, listen, I need your like I need your advice, but I need you to be like even keel on this. Like pretend you don't know the situation and you're not friends with everybody involved here, basically.
Right.
So I tell him and he's like, no, that's fucked up. Like that's really bad. Like that, they can't do that. He's like, and even so, like, he's like, I don't know if this guy's taking a date or not, but obviously you are. But even if they asked, they could pay for your side of it, you know, like they didn't have to pay for mine. Obviously we're staying together, and I was like, yeah, that's even true. It'd be cheaper for them to pay for mine because they'd only have to pay for half the room. Yeah. So
wow.
Again, kind of like, how do I bring this up? And like, I don't want to, you can't text
and they know that you know because you were on that text thread.
Yeah,
they know you know.
They know that I have to know like at least something about it because you know the text thread stopped there, obviously, but still, like they know, like come on, they knew I was meeting up with him and that you know obviously we were going to talk.
Yeah.
So I hear nothing from them. The next day, she's like, "How'd it go? Did you guys get along? Did you guys talk?" Blah, blah. I'm like, "Yeah, it's great." Like, again, like not wanting to even go into that over text. Mm-hmm. Not even sure I wanted to go into it over phone. So I knew I was going to see her in like a week that following weekend. And I hung out with her for like 2 straight hours and didn't say anything because I didn't know how to bring it up. And then her fiance comes and I was like, okay, now they're both here. This would be like the time if I'm going to do it. This would be the time. So I finally am like, listen, guys, like, I don't know if you've talked to him or not, but like he brought this up and I know there was like a weird thing on the text thread about it, but are you guys indeed paying for his hotel room? Mm-hmm. And the bride immediately says like, oh, that's all him. And like points at her fiance and like walks away. Yeah. And I was like, wait, what? And so her now husband basically explained to me that he wouldn't do the officiating, that his friend wouldn't do the officiating if he didn't get the hotel room paid for him.
What?
Yeah. So I was like, well, that's still, just because I would doesn't mean that I shouldn't be offered the same thing. So it was kind of this weird awkward thing where they like
so awkward.
It's so awkward because I was like, also like I would have been like, fine, don't do it then.
Exactly.
Right.
You like had to bribe your friend to be your officiant.
Isn't that bizarre?
Also, that guy's clearly gainfully employed. He's gone a lot for work.
I know.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like
oh my God. And I did not see that coming.
Yeah. I kind of get it. I mean, I have another friend that actually officiated a wedding about a month after I did, and she lives in New York, and it was in Vermont, and they like paid for her train ride and her accommodations and everything while she was there. So, I mean, people do that. That's like a thing, but also if you're going to...
It's not extorted.
But it's not, it's not extorted. And it's also like, if you're going to offer it to one person, then you should offer it to another.
Or don't choose two officiants.
Or don't choose two officiants. I would have gladly done it on my own.
I wonder how... I don't know these people, obviously. Yeah. I wonder how long the space between the groom offering the hotel room to his friend and the bride finding out. I wonder if she didn't know for a long time and then was like,
I wonder
you
that
did what?
Yeah, I kind of.
Oh yeah, I thought it'd be fine.
I think that's almost why she like did the walking away thing and wanted to like
she was like fight about this.
I'm sure. Yeah. Like I feel like it might have been.
She might have learned that during the text thread too.
No, I think she knew about it at that point, but
she probably wasn't happy about it.
She wasn't. I don't think she was happy about it, and she was like, "Look, like this is not something that it was my decision at all." And I was like, "But again, still, like, you can't offer it to one person and not offer it to another." And I'm like, "It's fine." Like the funny thing is if she would have offered it to me, I probably would have said no. Like, no, like I'm doing this for you. This is like my gift to you for your wedding. Like, I can pay for my own hotel room. It's not, and we're not staying at the Parker where it's like $500 a night. Like, it's fine. So I don't know. I thought, so that was like the real like fun little kicker that led up to the wedding. This is like, again, like,
this is like weeks before
the wedding. This is weeks before the wedding. Oh, so then.
So wait, did your opinion change of him after you learned that he like extorted a room out of them?
Kind of. I mean, I guess I can't say that it didn't because again, like we vibed very well. He's really like sweet guy, like really nice. I sent the what I had written up basically to him, and he did like make it a little sassier and like kind of like he brought in like some more comedic parts to it that I think it really needed. And I will say he did make the whole ceremony overall better. Like our combined efforts made it really good.
That's cool.
Like I actually like was really happy with it. I read it to like my mom and like anybody that was like not involved with the wedding. I read it to, and they were like, "No, that's very good."
Oh, so good.
That it turned out great, and I really do think like he did add something to it. So again, kind of going into this wedding like jet lagged after I got back. I was like, okay, I'm making the best of this. This is great. It's gonna be fine. And the funny thing is when we pulled up and we were checking into the hotel, he came at the same time with the groom who had to check him in. So it was almost like this, like, like my God, hammer the nail in deeper, like kind of thing. Ugh. Like they totally got caught checking him in.
Oh and we were like, God.
It was so good. Yeah, it was really good.
Oh my God, so awkward.
It was
said,
really,
oh, you got one for me too, right?
Right, I know. Actually, I think Jason told me that later. He's like, you should have asked for where yours was.
Oh my God. Oh, at that point that you're like, I gotta just roll with this.
I know. I was like, they're getting married tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah. And I had also kind of like, I had, and it wasn't like I like got myself into it, but I said like, there was a lot of our friends that were in from out of town. And I said, I think we need to like organize something on the Friday night. The wedding was on Saturday. On that Friday night, while people are getting into Palm Springs, have like a little drinks thing so that you can see everybody before the wedding.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I took on hosting that.
So they didn't do like a rehearsal dinner or anything?
They did a rehearsal dinner, but it was just family.
Got it.
So they wanted to keep
else.
it. Yeah. So fair. We did the rehearsal. I will say their wedding planner, I was not very impressed with her at all. She just kind of seemed like flighty and she's like, okay, go ahead and walk down. And I was like, okay.
Where did they get married in Palm Springs? Do you remember?
At the Parker.
Oh, okay.
It was a really lovely wedding.
Nice.
So we did the rehearsal and it was fine. They went to the rehearsal dinner and then I was hosting this drinks thing and it was kind of an important part of the wedding. I think like everybody showed up that was friends, you know, in our age range that wasn't like family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other officiant went on a date, a Tinder date, and didn't show up to the cocktail party.
Wait.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
Wait, a Tinder date in Palm Springs?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
This guy's amazing.
Yeah. I was like, I mean, really like taking advantage of the whole trip.
The free hotel.
Making sure he gets it all in. Yeah.
I don't even care if you were not even the officiant, if you were just a guest.
Of course. Yeah.
And you arrived the Friday night before and you
didn't go. I mean, many people were like tired and they were like, they would stop in and they had one cocktail and they were like, okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow. I was so jet lagged. Jason, my fiance, was falling asleep at the bar because he was so jet lagged because he was with me in Paris and I had to send him home because like we were outrageously
unbeknownst
tired.
to you, he went on a Tinder date.
I know, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I was like,
even if you were a guest,
just come by for one drink and
Show
then
up.
go. Yeah, show up. Come on. So yeah, it's really funny.
he went on a Tinder date.
Yeah.
Did he bring that date to the wedding the next day?
He did not. He did not. He
That would have
came
been
solo.
great. Here's
That
my
would have
wedding
been
plus one.
that would have been actually
I'll
pretty
refer to
amazing.
her as swipe right.
Well, him. It would have been a him.
Oh, got it. Okay, so Tinder date happened.
Yeah.
You didn't see him that night.
Didn't see him that
So
night.
Saturday, are you mad at him or are you just like, I gotta shake this off?
At that point, I was like, I don't even care. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
How
How was the breakdown of the actual ceremony? Like, was it you said a line, he said a line, or did you take bits?
Yeah. So what we would do is we kind of figured out, like, I will say that Friday we did sit down for like an hour and kind of go through it. And we even made some notes and we had to have them reprinted because there were certain ones where we felt like it was like too much of me talking at once. We needed that like breakup.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say something. I think he started and then I went and then we just kind of flowed through there. And then we did the vows, the actual like, and he did the bride and then I did the groom.
Nice.
And then they had their own vows. So we kind of had to like hand that off to them. So yeah, I will say it did flow really well. Everybody at the wedding did say like, you guys did a great job. It was also really hot. Again, I feel like I have lots of stories where I'm really hot.
Palm
But, like,
Springs in January?
Yeah. No,
February?
February. It was weirdly the day before it was fine. But that day in particular, like outrageously warm. And we were, it was kind of where like the sun was. We were standing right where the sun was hitting us, but the guests were fine. They were in the shade, but it was like the bride and groom. And then like us, obviously were right in the sun until it went down. Like at the like very end of the ceremony, it was like, oh, thank God. Like the sun finally went down over that tree and we're like in the shade now. It's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. And it's really nerve wracking. I was very nervous. Like I wasn't nervous. I think maybe because of all this other drama going on, I wasn't even nervous about it until they told us like the wedding planner finally showed up who like, I don't know, had been missing all day, I think.
Sounds great.
She like, yeah, she was great. I don't even remember what her name was actually at this point, but she showed up and was like, okay guys, you'll have to like, you know, go up. And then I like almost couldn't get up because I felt so nervous at that point. And I just started sweating because it's like, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to marry like my best friend or one of my best friends and her soon to be husband.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
wow, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Their parents are right there. So I feel like in that moment I got really nervous, but then it ended up going really well. So
That's good.
Nice.
yeah.
I have a dumb,
my gosh.
frivolous question.
What?
What did you wear? Because the guy's just like, wear a suit.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's Palm Springs, but you're the officiant. You don't want to pull focus, but you want to look serious.
I wore a navy blue gown that was like very flowy.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of 70s style.
Yeah.
But
Palm
then
Springs.
I
Yeah.
wore like these like bright blue, green, and pink, like with like I guess like leaves on them. They looked very Palm Springs, so they were like sandals. So that was like my little like peak of color, I guess.
Okay, cool.
'Cause it was like
Nice.
it's like this is what you would wear in Palm Springs to a wedding.
Yeah. I was
So,
just wondering.
Yeah,
Because it's kind of like, what do you wear?
Yeah.
I know.
Did you
Did
wrestle
the
with
bride?
it?
No, I
pick it
talked to
out?
her. The funny thing is it was a dress that I bought at a sample sale in New York with tags still on it. I had never worn it. and she happened to be at my apartment like months in advance. And I was like, hey, I want you to look at this dress. I've never worn it. Like, can I wear this to your wedding? Because then at least I could take these tags off and wear it. And she was like, actually, this is literally perfect and almost exactly what I would want you to wear. So it worked out really well.
Great.
Yeah.
Nice. But you let her take a peek at it.
Yeah. And again, this was a long time before the wedding. So I kind of knew what I was going to wear. And then all the bridesmaids got to pick their own dresses, but they had to wear like different colors. And I know that there was a whole debacle with that. So I'm glad that I was like far removed from that.
Wait, they got to pick their own dress and their own colors, and it was still an issue?
She picked their colors for them.
Like, so you're the orange one. You're the, got it.
Yeah, there was like, and the colors they were kind of jewel toned. Like they weren't really terrible. So I don't know. I think there was just one or two people that were like not happy about their colors. Or it was like maybe it was more of like they'll never wear that color again, so there's like really not an option of wearing that dress again.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
This is all very interesting.
I know.
I love dress drama.
So good.
Never ends. So I think at this point you qualify to answer and look at some wedding confessionals.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've been in it.
Yeah, I've been in it.
You're in the middle of it.
And also the day of, during the photography.
Yeah.
I can't miss this. The groom went missing for a while.
What?
Yeah. And they couldn't find him, but instead of calling the wedding planner, they called me. So I had to like wrangle the groom at one point.
Where was he?
I have no idea. He was definitely like running around, not where he was supposed to be, and I guess he had lost track of time. But they missed him on like, I feel like there was like 2 different occasions where he was supposed to be somewhere and like didn't get there. But I think he was also maybe trying to take care of his parents and
it's
you know,
a lot.
It's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on your wedding day. Yeah. So,
coordinator
but
dropped
I
the
was,
ball.
I was called, and I don't know where the coordinator was.
Oh, she sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't hire her.
Probably best you don't remember her name.
Yeah, right.
Totally.
You guys ready for some confessionals?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. Pammy's going first.
I'm going first.
Number 1 confessional.
Here
My
we
number
go.
1 gal.
Woohoo!
Zing. Sorry, Angie.
That's okay.
All right. Dear Wedding Confessionals, how's this for shitty in-laws? Oh, that's your opener.
3 question marks.
My brother was getting married, and he and his girl were having a good-sized wedding. Not huge, but it wasn't small either. Let's be honest here from the start. She wasn't my favorite, but you can't pick your in-laws. No, you can't. Her family was wealthier than ours. I'd call them upper middle class, and we were more just middle class. My parents gave some towards the wedding, so it wasn't all just the bride's family, but her family definitely paid more than my parents. As it got closer to the wedding, we had heard a rumor there was going to be an after party at the bride's parents' house, but my family never got an official invite. But it was an after party, so there really wasn't an official invite. All during the setup for the wedding, and the actual wedding itself, her family pretty much kept to themselves. They didn't really subscribe to the whole 2 families becoming one. Then in the end of the wedding comes, and her parents actually say that my parents/family aren't invited to the after party because they just assumed my parents would have their own. I was so mad at them. I almost lost it. But I didn't, and my parents played it off very well, and we did in fact have our own after party that my brother and his new bride never made it to. I know I shouldn't say this, but I wasn't sad when they got a divorce from, like I said, shitty in-laws.
Wow.
What?
Wow. There's
something.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
First of all, this happened a while ago, and this person's still pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you love those things where it's like, this thing happened a decade ago, and if you still brought up this topic, I would be
You get like
livid.
on fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They're like, I was mad, and they're still mad.
That's kind of shitty.
It's so rude.
It's really rude.
It's rude, and you know what they say about assuming something. So
What are after parties after weddings a thing?
I don't know. I mean, don't you just have the reception? And that goes pretty late usually, right?
Yeah. And then like if there is, it's kind of like, oh, we're going to be at this bar.
Also, yeah, usually it's at a bar and it's usually like
Just
not
the
the
young
families,
people
it's the young people
that
involved.
are still awake,
and
right?
usually, and usually everybody is pretty toasted by then. So
Yeah. And it's usually like a bad idea. Like you're
it's
like,
always a
in
bad
the
idea.
moment, you're like, after party. And then you get there, it's either like sad or like, this is out of control.
No, like have to go home.
Oh man.
I mean,
it's a thing, but also like it's not a guaranteed thing. Like I've been to plenty of weddings that had them and plenty that didn't. And
exactly.
I feel it's more of like a natural thing, you know?
It's not like a formal thing.
Yeah, like we're all not ready to like stop celebrating. We're like, slaying on the dance floor. And then it's like, okay, we have to leave. So like, let's go somewhere else and continue this party.
Yeah.
It's like an organic thing.
Yes.
These people are not fun.
Not nice.
No, I don't think they're very nice.
Well, clearly they're jerks. And then they plot twist, they got divorced.
Yeah, I mean, imagine that.
Here's the thing, though. Like they said, the brother and the new bride never showed up too.
Which is also kind of rude.
Yeah.
On his end, a little bit.
In the defense of the bride and groom, they did a wedding reception.
True.
Then one after party.
Maybe they
And
went to bed.
A second after party. They're probably exhausted. They're
That's
the bride
true.
and groom.
That's true.
They get
you
a pass.
skip both.
Yeah.
Can't go to one and not the other.
Yeah, that's true.
I would give, those are the only people I would give a pass to.
Totally.
Pam's pissed.
I agree, though.
Pam's
I think
like, get a fucking coffee and show up.
If you go to one, you have to go to the other. Like, say hi, have one drink at one, and then go to the other.
Stop at the 7-Eleven gas station, get a fucking coffee, and you show up. Your mother's been up till 2 a.m. waiting for you to come to this lame after party.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, what family does the after party? That's weird. These people are weird.
Yeah, I'm not into it.
I'm with you. I don't like these people either. You're not wrong.
No.
Ready to number 2?
There we go.
Is there more inventive ways to shit on these people we don't like? You let me know.
No,
Okay,
I think
cool.
it's good.
Yeah.
You're up, Brookie.
Numero dos. Dear Wedding Confessionals, my fiance wants to have the ceremony in this cool spot out in the middle of nowhere. Not my ideal location, but I'm willing to give in. However, in order to have the ceremony there, it's going to cost a lot of money, just for permission from the landowner. He thinks the landowner will never know we're there since we plan on keeping it small, but I'm terrified of being arrested on my wedding day for trespassing. 3 exclamation points. I know you ladies will have opinions on this. Please let me know if I'm overreacting or if my fiance is just playing crazy. From, I do not want a mugshot from my wedding photos.
Well, that would definitely be interesting.
It would be an eventful day.
I mean, I was trespassing when I got engaged.
Right.
So, I mean, I can't really even say
You
much
like to
about
live
that.
on the edge.
I will say that I think depending on who the landowner is, you might not want to mess with him. I mean, this guy comes out with like a shotgun.
I was just about to say,
like while your guests are sitting there,
like how
having
well do
champagne.
you know like rural areas that are big and open? I can tell you a lot of those people have guns.
Yeah.
And if they
Like,
don't know
yeah.
what's going on.
Is there wild animals running around? Like I don't know. Mountain
not
lions.
a good idea.
That's not a good idea.
I think that we can all say this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, maybe the landowner will feel like great about them coming and wanting to like get married on his land.
He doesn't want this to happen.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind.
Well, clearly,
mean,
if they're
like
saying
most-
if there's a lot of money, that means they specifically said that because they don't want them there.
yeah. Well,
Well,
then,
it's also probably, I mean, you got to realize when you have a wedding, like it is sort of like a liability thing. You do
It
have
is.
people on your property.
That's true.
If they're drinking,
There's
if they
insurance.
injure themselves. Yeah. There's like a real chance that something could go wrong. And it sounds like this is not a proper wedding venue. This is just somebody's land. I think it's really weird. It's like, imagine if you just are like, I need to take a nap in the back of your car.
yeah.
But it's
I
like
don't
not
know.
a big deal. You're not like, it's sitting there. Can I just take a nap in the back of your car? And you're like, no, I don't want you sleeping in my car. It's kind of like that where it's like you're trying to use this person's property for something that they don't want you to use it for.
I feel like there have to be other event spaces that are similar looking, probably not as expensive and manageable.
legal.
And safe.
Legal.
Safe, yes.
With like, things that like, mics and chairs and things.
It sounds
that you
like
need
he thinks it's so small it won't matter. So it sounds like this is pretty small.
But still,
here's what I think you need to do. I think before you even start, random thought, go to like your local, city hall or whatever you have and check in with the parks department of where you live and see what a permit would cost to have a group gathering / wedding in a park. And then if you know that that's available and it's pretty decent price, which it usually is because it's a public service, go look at a bunch of parks nearby. Find a cool park.
that's a great idea.
You can still find a spot that's cool and legal.
Yeah.
And legal. And that way no one's in trouble.
When you're already going to be nervous on your wedding day, you don't want to add any extra
God, no
pressure.
way.
And
Like
if
that
it
would be
goes
terrible.
badly and you don't, worst case scenario, someone gets shot.
Yeah.
I guess a little bit better is everyone gets chased off the land. And then are you explaining to the
possibly
people
arrested?
Yeah. And did the people going know that they're actually trespassing too?
Right.
Because you're tiptoeing around, but is your grandma? Is she just like, hey,
grandma
you're getting married?
She can't run that fast.
Grammy needs a minute.
Yeah.
True.
Oh man. No, don't do that.
He's
Don't
crazy.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I think that also, not to shit on your fiance, I think your fiance is just a little bit of a romantic. He found a
Maybe.
cool spot. He thinks
Aw.
it's fun. He wants a little bit of air of adventure.
True.
He's wrong.
There
crazy.
are other cool spots.
There are
Yeah.
other ways of being romantic too.
Listen,
Yes.
Pam married a wild man who
I
makes
did.
crazy decisions.
Yes.
He would do this.
Yep.
So she feels your pain.
Yes. I'm with you. I understand. Talk him out of it. There are other spots.
Right?
Yep.
You have to talk him out of this.
You do.
You don't need a mugshot.
No.
Oh God. If I will say no.
What?
I was gonna say, but I don't tell him this, but you could go take photos there really quick, but you're probably gonna get caught too. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
You're
don't
gonna
do
get
it.
shot. Don't
Don't.
listen
Yeah.
to
Oh
me.
my gosh. No, not a good idea.
Angie,
Landowner-
number 3 before I give more bad suggestions.
Okay. Hey, ladies. So this happened to me. My husband's brother was getting married, and we helped a lot with planning and helping getting ready for the big day. It was fine. We're family, and we'd do anything to make sure their big day goes perfect. 1 week before the wedding, I get a call from my soon-to-be sister-in-law asking me if I'll be a bridesmaid. At first, I thought I didn't hear her right, but she repeated, she's short a bridesmaid, and will I step in? Okay, sure, ? I already had my dress all picked out, and now I have 1 week to get a bridesmaid's dress, which wasn't all matchy-matchy, thank God, but it was a formal whiteout. No big deal. Let me find the needle in a haystack 5 days before the wedding. How difficult is it to get a formal white dress that's not a wedding gown? Luckily, I live in a larger city, and I was able to find a dress in time that I actually liked. Crisis averted. The wedding was beautiful, and I was actually happy to be part of all the bridal party festivities. It was a nice day for a white wedding.
All white.
All white.
All white.
White out.
I never heard of a whiteout.
I
This is me learning.
actually just saw somebody. One of my friends was a bridesmaid in a wedding in Mexico. I think over the last weekend, and it was an all white wedding, which I thought was very bizarre when I saw it on her Instagram.
Do the guys all dress in white too, or is it just the women?
No, the guys were in black and the girls were in white, which does, I guess, look really
That's
pretty,
really
but
pretty.
it still seemed weird to me.
Could you tell which one was the bride immediately? Is it obvious?
No, I mean, I saw that my friend Alex was not the bride, but she was also.
Did you think on Instagram that your friend Alex got married and you didn't know? You
No,
didn't get invited?
I saw. No,
Did you rage text her?
No.
What the fuck, Alex?
I know. No, I saw it and I was like, oh my God, did she wear white to a wedding? It's like so.
Do we need to have a talk?
Yeah, like you can't do that. And then I realized that she was in the wedding and that they were all wearing white. But no, I did not know which one was actually the bride.
Interesting.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
That's what we learned last week. Or the other week from Beth.
I guess to each their own.
Yeah.
It's like an old school thing where all the women would wear white, and the idea was that so the spirit couldn't catch the bride or something. Like they
Yeah.
were all protecting her.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know, right? Kind of weird.
Yeah. Folklore.
Yeah, I know. Old timey shit.
I like the fact that she was put in this situation and found
got-
a way through and
yeah.
said, you know what, I actually was happy to be a part of it.
Totally.
Yeah.
That could have been really stressful. I can only imagine. I mean, again, like living in a bigger city, like thankfully we'd probably be able to find that too. But I don't know. I mean, fittings. 5 days in advance. If it doesn't
And
fit
it's
perfectly.
white.
Yeah.
You know, white's
a hard thing. I don't wear white.
White is hard.
I have two things. One, I think it's really cool, and you're a great example of when a bride or groom gives you a random task, you just go, okay.
Yeah.
And try for as much as possible to help and not cause conflict. Two, why didn't the bride just let it be an uneven number? Like, is it that big of a freaking deal?
I don't know. I guess to some people.
Yeah. I think to some people, the numbers.
Also, what happened to the other bridesmaid? Was there a falling out?
Oh.
Did someone get
think
mad?
about that.
I mean, what happened? Yeah, what happened to that one?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder.
Yeah, she didn't mention it. She
didn't mention it.
This is the nicest person.
This is the nicest person. She didn't want any drama.
Yeah, everyone should be friends with this person.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, and their family, my husband's brother.
Yeah.
So, wow, this bride got lucky, married into
She really did.
Good family.
Agreed.
That's crazy. This whole thing's crazy. Something happened.
Something definitely happened to the other bridesmaid.
Right? Mm-hmm. Abducted.
Brooke and Angie want the drama.
Aliens.
There we go.
Alien abduction.
They're like, no nice stories. We want the drama.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. This is it's good to end on a positive note.
Yeah,
We've had enough drama tonight. So that's all the stories.
That's it.
Yeah.
Tammy, we did it.
We did.
Angie, we did it.
Thanks for
Congrats.
having me.
Yeah.
So now we're going on to bridal breaks. Bridal breaks, for anyone new to listening, are just suggestions that we give not only to brides, but anyone helping to plan a wedding, of something to do that has nothing to do with the wedding planning process.
Nope.
So that you can enjoy your life and be a little bit more sane, so that when you do have to deal with dumb wedding stuff, you don't hate everybody.
Dumb wedding.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's dumb.
Sometimes it is. That's true.
I don't think you really enjoy running around looking for a white dress 5 days.
No.
It's
True.
not fun.
No.
But you were a
What
champ.
about like Rent the Runway?
Yeah, that would have been
That
good.
would have been a good option, I think. But
Yep.
again, like tailoring, like it comes down to like if you had to get fittings done or anything.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That would have been a good option though.
Yeah. Okay. Pam, do you know what you're going to give as your bridal break?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I do. I'm really excited about this one.
Ooh, okay. What do you got?
I found this one on liquor.com.
I like it already.
How often are you on liquor.com, Pam? Is it bookmarked?
Maybe. And this one is called Spring Showers. It's a martini.
Okay.
So it's made with vodka, fresh watermelon juice, fresh lemon juice, part lavender syrup, 1 egg white, and 4 cucumber slices. How good does this sound?
That sounds so refreshing.
Yes.
Can we have that right now?
Yes.
Yep.
Right here.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear egg white in like a drink,
Yes.
I always think of being at some sort of like pretentious bar,
Of course.
and the person in front of me always orders some drink that has like an egg white. I'm like, we're gonna be.
It takes so
fucking
long,
ever.
but they're so delicious.
They're very good.
Jason always orders the one with the egg white. He's
dick.
that guy. He's that guy.
That does sound really good.
Oh my
though.
gosh.
What's it called again?
Spring Showers.
Spring showers. Oh, because we're getting into spring.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
guess we're still in it.
We're in spring.
It's LA, so it's always hot. So
That's true.
I kind of forget sometimes.
We
what
actually
year
don't
we're in.
even have a spring.
We really don't.
It was like gray last week for 3 days and winter feeling, and then it was 90.
And
Now we're
yes.
just sweating.
yeah.
Welcome to
So-
LA.
Yeah. Spring got skipped around the country, actually.
Yeah, totally.
Ugh. Well,
Right.
thanks for the great drink, and now I'm back to thinking about sweating.
That's Angie's line.
Yeah, right. So my bridal break for the week is a podcast. It's sort of a newer podcast. So when our guest, I think when Beth was on, she mentioned Nailed It, the
Yes.
Netflix series
She
about
did.
baking cakes with amateurs that are just not great. But the host of that is Nicole Byer. Nicole Byer also has a podcast that came out, I want to say a couple months ago, and it's called Why Won't You Date Me? And Nicole Byer is a stand-up comedian who's super funny. She is single. What she's been doing on this podcast is that she brings on people who have either dated her or hooked up with her in the past, or are just really good friends with her. They bring them on and they discuss why, like, their relationship with her. They look at her Tinder profile to figure out like what improvements she could make or what things she should change. And if it is somebody that she used to date, she's like, why did we break up? Like, what happened? And she's trying to like explore through this like comedy podcast the like inner workings of like herself.
She must have a lot of confidence.
Yes,
she does. And the best part is that I'm only through like, I think I'm in like episode 5 or 6, and because they did a lot of them in advance before the show aired, half of the people that came on didn't know what the podcast is about. She's like,
that's even better.
Hey, be a guest on my podcast. She's like, now that we're here, I want to talk about like that time that we hooked up.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And sometimes they're like, okay. So it's really interesting, and she's just so funny. She's really hilarious. So yeah, Why Won't You Date Me with Nicole Byer?
That's
podcast.
awesome.
Yeah,
it is great.
It's really rising in the charts, and it's also just like such an interesting peek into someone's life.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know that I'm brave enough to do that.
Very
kudos.
Intimate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be kind of curious.
I could see you doing it.
Yeah. We're on the same wavelength. So Angie, what is your bridal break for our listeners?
Since we were talking about my fiance and I being foodies, I love Eater, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard of it, but I don't know if everybody knows this, but they have an Eater 38 for every single city around the world.
What is an Eater?
Yeah.
Is it a website?
It's eater.com. Yeah. And they do, you can follow it on Instagram. Like there's an Eater LA, and it'll talk about like new restaurants. And I find a lot of new restaurants here for that, but they have the Eater 38 for every city. So if like you're going to Barcelona, you can look it up and just Google like eater.com Barcelona 38. And it's like the top 38 restaurants, and they're updated all the time.
Wow.
So it's like, if you look it up right now, it'll be like maybe from like April 2018. So it's like pretty updated.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really cool because, you know, if you're going to like London last minute or something, you're like, where am I supposed to eat?
Where do I go?
And it's really good.
That's fun
it's
too.
like, and it's usually always on point. Like I've done it for multiple cities, and it's awesome. Like hands down the best like option of finding food places.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that too, because it kind of is an easy, quick date night option.
Oh, totally.
You're trying
Yeah.
to like, you're stressed out with
Pick
the
a
dumb
spot.
wedding stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
And-
just go out and have
Yeah.
a nice dinner with your
And
loved one.
The other good part about it is there's definitely like the fine dining spots that you have to make reservations ahead of time. But I also love it because there's like a taco truck that's in like Boyle Heights and like only has like 2 things on the menu kind of place, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's manageable. It's like, okay, we could go have this like prefix dinner, or like, let's just go have tacos. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Eater.
Options.
There's
I like
options.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I like that it's in a bunch of different cities too.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I've never looked up a city that they didn't have one for, which is kind of crazy.
Now I want a snack.
I'm
I
hungry.
know. I want that drink and a snack.
Honestly,
do it.
guys.
Yeah.
So basically, we need to go.
I want to start cruising liquor.com.
Yep.
Liquor.com. Oh, so on point, Pam. So on point. Well, Angie, thank you so much for coming on the
Yes,
show,
thank
man.
you.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
You get to sit through the last part of the show, which is us promoting all of our random ways to find out about our show.
Okay.
It is actually a pop quiz that I give Pam. Look, she's already starting to get stressed. I'm going to
my
move her
gosh.
phone
Talk
away
about
from her.
sweating.
I
Because
know.
she's going
It's
to
true.
try to cheat.
I'm gonna have
She
to
might take
this
that
blanket
sweater, the
off.
blanket.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was hard to move her phone away because it's currently charging, because Pam always likes to start the podcast with her phone at like 2% battery. Was it 6
She likes
today?
to live on the
It
edge.
was
She really does.
Yeah.
Every time she comes in the house, she's like, do you have a charger? I'm at like 4%. How do you do it?
Because it's the end of the day.
Do you not charge it in the car?
I was explaining earlier, it's because I am dumb and leave a lot of apps open, so it just sucks the battery
Yeah.
out.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I need to be better about that, but I'm not. So here it walks in
Goals
6%.
to work on for next week.
It's true.
Now every episode will begin by you telling everybody what percentage.
It's not good.
Welcome to
It's
Wedding
never
Confessionals.
good.
Pam's at 3.
True.
Okay, all right. I'm grabbing the clipboard. I'm grabbing my pen. Pamela,
Yes.
are you ready?
Always.
Okay. If you want to find out more information about our show, what website do you go to?
Go to weddingconfessionals.com.
We're on social media. Where can you find us?
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yeah. Also, weddingconfessionals.com. You can find show notes to every episode, little pics, little links, all the good stuff.
All fun stuff.
Links to that liquor.com.
It'll be there.
It's there. We'd love for you to send us your confessionals. So send us your stories. They're all anonymous.
We love them.
Give us your questions. Give us your rants. There's 3 different ways to send them. You can send them via email. What's the email, Pam?
weddingconfessionals@gmail.com.
Or you can send us a voicemail. We don't use your voice. We just tippity tap it out. So you'll always sound cool. Our phone number is 434-933-2663, 434-933-2663. Our most popular way of people submitting their confessionals is to go where, Pam?
Go to weddingconfessionals.com.
And you hit on what tab?
Tell us your secret.
Tell us your secret. From there, all you have to do is type in a name. You can make it up.
Sure.
And then in the next box, you type out all of your gossip and you hit send. No
Super
email,
easy.
no phone number. We don't really care. We don't use it.
Nope.
We just want your gossip.
Yep.
We are on iTunes / Apple Podcasts, Pam.
We are.
We'd like you to hit subscribe. And if you have a second, type us out a nice review and click on how many stars?
5.
I want you to click on the stars that you want. Pam wants 5, but she's very pushy, so you should probably go with 5.
Yeah.
Besides Apple Podcasts, Pam, we're in a lot of different places. So I need you to know that I found a new one.
What? Oh, good.
We're on Pod Paradise.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? Do you know that one?
I don't.
I learned about it today.
That's a little tongue twister.
Pod Paradise.
Pod Paradise.
So, Pam,
I like
let's
it.
see. We're not going to time you because I added a lot of new ones. Sometimes I time her. Name all the places where you can find our podcast that I know about.
All right. Apple Podcasts. Yeah. Stitcher, Player FM, Google Play, Podbean, Podcast Addict, Podcast Republic, Podcast Land, Podcast Paradise, Castbox, Downcast, Overcast, Castro. Am I missing one?
Yep, you're missing 3.
3.
Think of our newer ones. Oh,
Spotify.
Yep.
iHeartRadio.
Which I found out was called iHeartMedia. So it's just called iHeartMedia.
iHeartMedia.
Was formerly iHeartRadio. And there's one more. Think about a dress that you wear and you're like, oh my God, it has...
Pocket Cast.
Yes.
Pockets. There we
go.
go.
My God, it has pockets. That's it. That's all of the... It's becoming quite a
That's
list.
a lot.
I know. We're going to have to put an alphabetical order because it's hard when you say them for me to find them.
Oh, yes. Let's make it easier for you, Brooke.
It's very difficult for me to have this pen and all the answers in front of me. Thank you for feeling for my plight. Every day is a struggle. Angie, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And Pammy, I will see you next week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Special thanks to Andy Schreier for our adorable theme song, and to Ramsey Millay and Brian Maylard for their technical support, which we desperately needed.
Want to make sure you don't miss a single episode? Subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, or SoundCloud, and make sure to give us a 5-star rating, or I guess a 4 if you're being judgy like us.
If you have a crazy story to tell or need some advice, you can reach us by going to our website, weddingconfessionals.com.
Or you can email us at weddingconfessionals@gmail.com.
Or leave us a voice message at 434-933-2663. That's 434-933-2663.
And as always, we will never reveal the names in order to protect the innocent and the annoyed.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And if you're looking for those links, you can find those and more at our website, which you haven't figured out by now is weddingconfessionals.com.
See you guys next time.
Bye.